We have a very special guest here.
Hey!
Gabo Saturno, calisthenics expert. He's going to teach his top 3 that he would teach someone who does ATG.
Yes,
and
sir.
I'm going to teach my top 3 if a calisthenics expert walked into ATG, which has just occurred. So we're going to belt up here.
Let's go.
And we've got our amazing wives demonstrating with us. And we're going to do some team sledding.
Let's warm up.
So I will quickly explain a few benefits, and then we'll fast forward so you don't have to watch us do this whole thing. You guys can stop about there.
All right.
I don't know anything that is so gentle to start, takes such a little learning curve. Gabo, you were in here, your mom, right? She was able to sled?
She was doing it, she loved it.
The sled is what really broke through for my own parents and got them to start doing ATG. If you notice every step, I'm pushing through my toes. So I think of this as strength from the ground up. Where is the resistance? The resistance is the friction of the ground. The weight is not bearing down on us. So, whatever you want. Even if there was 1,000 pounds on this sled, it just might not move. If there was 10,000 pounds, it wouldn't move. 100,000 pounds.
It's burning already, man.
What was that?
It's burning already.
Oh, good. He's feeling a burn. So it's fundamentally safe. Are we doing cardio right now, or are we doing strength?
Both of them.
Probably both. And when you go backward, you're doing one of the most incredible rehabilitative knee exercises. So is it cardio, strength, rehab, all got a good burn?
I got a good burn.
We're already to the second exercise. We've got our lungs, we've got our heart rate going. We can use these 2 stations right here. So we're already going to my number 2 exercise. You guys will use that platform to practice. At the highest level of this exercise, you would have load, you'd have the back foot elevated. So you're in a stretch. Really to do this properly, you pretty much have the hip flexors to do a split. But you can switch around. When I was on painkillers for my knees, you can see I've got like a partially artificial kneecap.
Got it. Oh yeah.
I was told this would never.
I
was told it would never fully bend. I remember I would have to go into the gym. I'd find random boxes, and I would be like this, just getting some.
Just staying there in the position,
just
right?
Getting some deep strengthening going.
Got it. Do you do some pauses as you go, like?
Exactly. You can do it all. You can pause.
Okay.
You can pulse.
Got it.
Just like any exercise, really. So
Makes
we'll have you guys go here, and maybe a starting point would be like about there, front foot elevated, and babe, you can go maybe a little bit lower, or you can even do your back foot elevated, however you want. So the back foot's on the toes the whole time. Yep.
The toes?
Yep, on the tippy toes. Okay. And then you move diagonal like this. So it's not straight down, it's diagonal. Go ahead. Cover the calf with the hamstring. You feel stretch there? Yes. Perfect, and then you come back up. Good, and then keep the tension. So you don't have to go, you don't have to like straighten at the top, because from about there's tension. Go from the tension below.
From the tension forward.
Yeah.
Got it. What about the back knee? Do you want it fully straight, or you want the intention of making it straight?
With the back leg, you have a really simple rule, which is the back knee doesn't touch the floor.
Okay,
so if the back knee touched the floor, well, just raise the platform some.
Got it.
As long as it doesn't touch the floor and the chest is up.
So it doesn't have to be
you're
fully
probably
straight.
Getting a good yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
So in calisthenics, you have like pistol squats.
Yes.
So it's really good for the strength. And I think this just balances out nicely with the
yeah, and you have more stability to do the exercise as well.
Yep. So her form is very good.
Nice.
Just like with the calisthenics exercise. You kind of want to work at the level that feels good, but that challenges you a little bit. And then you add up the adaptation little by little.
100%.
That's good.
What do you think should be my level? For somebody that doesn't train legs often.
You start here on the first set.
Let's see.
See where it goes. So I've been working on this one over 10 years, so I know my level well. Nice, yeah, he's going from that tension. Look at that, gorgeous form. And then keep the tension, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, this will be easy for me. So lower it.
Yeah, we try a little bit lower. And then you have strength and flexibility, meaning for one person, maybe they can't go very low, but they're very strong.
Okay, yeah, they
they
can, can load it more,
Yeah.
but the knee won't go as far forward.
Yep.
Nice.
That's
So-
a good question.
So the frequency, yeah, how often?
She was asking frequency. So in my programming, minimum once a week. Like I'll do this once a week for life.
Okay.
My mom's 70, she does it once a week.
Love
We'll do it once a week for life. Short term, like rehabilitative knee program, will allow people up to 3 times a week because
Okay.
it's less load. So like when I
100%.
was here, I was doing it like every other day. I found was good,
Yes.
like 3 days a week. But once you now have more, like once you can add load and stuff, well now
You're
you don't.
more effective set per set, so you just
Yeah.
need to do it once a week.
Yep.
What about the intensity? Do you 8 to 12, 15?
Roughly in there.
Okay,
8 to 12.
RER, like do you go to your
It's-
max? Do you leave some reps in reserve?
You leave some reps in reserve.
You leave some reps.
Some exercises are more conducive to going all out.
Yeah, okay.
Like if I asked you to do like a pull-up, if I asked the average person to do a pull-up to failure, they can do it relatively safely.
Yes.
But maybe if I asked them to do like the overhead press without warm-up, I don't know if
Yeah.
there's some differences in calisthenics.
I feel
Alyssa's
it.
doing a good job here. So we think of this as volume, not intensity.
Okay, love it. Love
My
that.
general viewpoint is a little bit more volume for the legs, but not
Not
risking
crushing
it.
the legs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a volume, legs, intensity upper. Generally
Okay,
speaking.
that makes sense.
But I think there's
I want to try that variation.
I think when it comes to like maybe some of the decelerators, maybe you go a bit more volume.
Makes
I don't know
sense.
how you do it.
Like tibialis, you mean?
Yeah, or like the shoulder.
Or like the shoulder
decelerator.
girl.
Yeah. Let's see
Okay.
here. So he'll feel a nice stretch, but his form is outstanding. So yeah, do a set of 12, and then we'll move on. But he's got fantastic form. This is a tool he can use for life. Are you getting strength, or are you getting flexibility, or are you getting rehab? Again, you're getting kind of all of it. So for me, like if I challenged myself to just use the sled and this, I'd probably be able to dunk a basketball for many, many years. That was like my goal in life, was to dunk a basketball. So this gives me the strength, the flexibility, the knee health. Look at this. Amazing. And I think it's really cool for people to see there's different ways to the top of the same mountain.
Exactly. I've never done this exercise and I can do a split. I've
Exactly.
done other exercises.
Exactly, and in ATG, a lot of us can do a split, but we didn't do traditional methods of doing a split. So the last exercise today, the other side of our split, is, I'll just grab a pair more like what I would use for working weights, is deadlifting, but I'm trying to have my knees behind my ankles. I'm trying not to round my lower back. So I'm feeling that upper hamstring stretch. So again, am I getting strength training right now? Am I getting flexibility training?
Both of
Am
them.
I getting rehab for the hamstring? So this is the other side
All names.
of the split for me. So I'll do a set of 12. Similar thing, it's not something we use like to failure.
Got it.
It's like you're putting quality adaptation in,
Okay.
little by little, slow and steady.
Can you go too light, meaning too many reps in reserve? Like somebody can do 20 and they do 8.
Not short term, but long term. Like
Okay.
if someone's like, I want to dunk a basketball and I'm going to spend 5 years doing only body weight, it might not get them there.
I feel you.
They might need a little weight. Also, you'll kind of feel on an exercise sometimes where it's like you kind of want a little bit more weight.
Yes.
So-
yeah, you feel it. Your body will tell you.
Yeah, so I'm a big believer in, we coach the form videos and we guide.
It is the
but,
most important thing. Yeah.
but it's personal too. How much weight? Learn your body.
Yes.
So you can feel it's like if it doesn't pull you enough.
Yes.
So usually if someone goes too heavy, they'll short or they'll be here and they'll stop right
Exactly.
there. The best weight, you should actually feel like a really good stretch.
Yeah, I love the philosophy of like focusing on form and then you add load depending on what you want and when you want
Maybe
to
for you, start like 20 kilo. You can feel a set.
Yeah.
It's totally up to you. Because again, even though it's like,
I'm used to pounds.
oh,
What do you have it on
45s.
kgs being an American?
so that people don't know what they're lifting and they don't have ego.
Okay.
And you could grab
So
maybe
here.
the 8s. So he's gonna go for his knee
So-
to go slightly behind. Beautiful form. I mean, he's already got perfect form. If you do it right, you'll kind of feel that upper hamstring a little bit.
I do feel it.
Yep. Bend the knee just slightly. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you allow the knee to bend naturally pretty
this
much.
is running to our daughter in the play zone. So for us, it's really cool that we can get flexibility training while you're getting strength training for the lower back.
100%.
You're getting strength training for the hamstrings. I would say these are the three most foundational exercises for us. Sled.
You're getting,
Full range of
you're
motion,
getting
split
everything.
Squat, full range of motion. And then
You get mobility, flexibility, strength.
yeah. Yeah, so if someone did calisthenics also, you can see it's a bit self-limiting. Like you're not gonna wind up with like huge legs accidentally. Because both of those exercises is not really like traditional bodybuilding. Like it's a bit self-limiting. The split squat, the RDL, when you're going for the stretch, you're not just gonna wind up like all of a sudden your legs are 10 pounds heavier. Then you have to put it together. Like we'll see Fernando later in this video, he can squat 400 pounds, full range of motion. The squat then is more advantageous to build mass.
Yes.
So this is our foundation. Like if someone wants to be a ballet dancer, or if someone wants to be like, almost everyone does the 3 you just saw. And then it becomes a bit more personal on how much do you load the squat? What body are you trying to build?
It will be the same with calisthenics. Like we use the foundational exercises, and then everybody takes their route. Some go for the static skills, others the strength skills. Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. Now I get to enjoy training, and now I can shut up. And we're gonna switch. He's gonna show us his top 3 to teach someone doing ATG. If you look around the gym, we have a lot of ATG coaches here. So he'll lead us, but we'll kind of all copy him and learn. Fernando will be a good demonstration because he has a really strong body.
Okay.
And then seeing how he does on the body weight training. Oh, wow.
Oh,
the real training.
The real training begins, the hardest part.
All right, let's see, let's go watch.
Let's go. So
Fernando can go with you so we can hold the kids.
So Ben asked me to do 3 exercises that complements ATG system. I do believe the ATG system is really, really complete, both lower body and upper body. And correct me if I'm wrong, your main focus is longevity and pain-free movement.
Yeah.
Correctly. So the things that we do in calisthenics, I think we do more upper body, so you just cover a lot of lower body stuff. So we're going to be covering a lot of upper body stuff. And since we are in an ATG gym, I want to make it more longevity based and something that can really benefit a lot of people.
You got sidetracked over here.
There we go.
He's going to
show me. Show me how it's done. There we go. There we go. So she just demonstrated like straight arm movement.
Good job, buddy.
There we go.
All right. Good job. Okay, let's see what he does next. Let's see
so
what
in
Gabo
calisthenics,
does next.
we do a lot of things that are we can call unhealthy, like let's say like a tuck plunge, and things that can be really, really hard for the joints. And something that I really like from you is that you said basketball is not safe. A sport is not safe. Calisthenics as a sport, it is not safe. But we want to do it. So what do? We prepare accordingly with standards or like fundamental exercises done correctly, which most of the calisthenics community avoid. But I'm here to show you that there is always a regression, just like Ben teaches you from ATG Elevated. We have progression for every single exercise in calisthenics.
And that makes it valuable for someone who is not going to try to become a professional, compete.
Exactly.
But like we could do it, my wife could do it.
Exactly. Like some people see calisthenics and they see this, and they're like, I'm never going to be able to do that. And they stop, and they don't get into calisthenics because of that. But calisthenics is much more than that.
It's for everyone.
It's for everyone. So let's begin with the rows. We have here set up the rings. I want to show first on the bar to demonstrate why the rings are better for rows than the bar.
Okay, awesome.
So if we do them on the bar, let's say that the bar, this is a movable bar, but normally we have a fixed bar. So let's say I cannot move this bar, and I find my level, and I say, okay, this is too easy. And I go into a harder variation. Okay, this is too easy, I can go more. Now, it gets to a point that we are not rowing anymore to the chest, and it's more of like an upright row. Nothing wrong here, but it's not what we want. We want to be rowing here to work most in the posterior chain. So it gets to a point that you get stuck. Here, since we can move the bar perfectly fine, because then you can actually row with a higher intensity. But in most gyms, they don't have a movable bar. They have a fixed bar. That's what we're going to be using rings for. So that's the main benefit, is that with the rings, you can adjust it as much as you want. I like to set up the rings, the top part, around the belly button. That's what's going to work for most people. For you, you might put it a little bit higher, just because you're very tall. I like to put a plate for stability. So the plate works in a way that we put the feet and we don't slide.
Oh, nice.
Because we can be here, and for some floors, if you're using shoes, that would work. But the more parallel to the floor you go, it gets to a point that you literally just slide. So we want to be as stable as possible to really work on the movements that we want to work on. So
Should I try this one?
yeah, go for it.
And then Alyssa
So
can
the
try
feet, and you want to be resting your heels. Exactly, not that. There you go.
Oh yeah, that's so
Yeah.
stable.
Now,
And I
first,
think for the person who's just watching
we're gonna
like, for the
fix-
first time, what would the benefits be of doing this?
you have full scapula control in movement. So you're going for full, keep the shoulders depressed, so down, and you're gonna extend the arms, keep some activation, so don't relax into a passive hang. Okay, and now roll and fully retract the scapulas. So we're getting full, complete movement of the shoulder blades, which really helps for shoulder health.
I mean, that's just,
And it
I feel
opens
like we
more.
all need
Yeah,
this.
exactly. And when you do on the bar, you're stuck here. Great
Okay.
range of motion, great shoulder extension, but the rings allows for that extra range of motion
That makes
that
sense.
is going to allow for more freedom of the shoulder blades.
so this
So
gives freedom, so when he pulls, he can go as far.
Yeah, there you go.
He can pull as far as he wants.
Now extend the arms and give me some activation here, like don't relax completely, and fully extend the arms. There you go. And then go again.
So you want to keep it.
Yeah, I want to keep it. If we're working on scapula stability, I want to keep it. If we're working on hypertrophy, like you want a bigger back, you will allow your body to relax, protract, and then reset, because we want to get that stretch in the muscles.
So both those variations are fine.
Both variations are fine.
Can I see her do it?
Yeah, for sure. Can you show the rotation one? So she's gonna
wanna
show
have Alyssa
my
do it as well.
favorite one, which is another benefit of the ring is that you can vary the grip. And I like to use a rotating grip. Can you show that? Where we work on pronation. Once she gets to 90, she rotates,
Oh wow.
finishing supination. Then he returns. Once she gets to 90, she rotates again.
Wow.
Now, do it wrong. Most people just rotate at the beginning, rotate. So pull and rotate, and then
so,
rotate right here.
So nothing really happened during
Nothing
the
really
motion.
happened. You're better off just doing prone grip and supinated grip. So if she does it right again, pronation, then full supination, then negative is happening in supination for the biceps, and then we rotate. So we're a complete conditioning of the forearm, which is very, like we do a lot of things on the floor, putting it right here. This one will condition your entire forearms in all directions, and it will make elbow pain and wrist pain less prone for people that do calisthenics.
So again, the ring. Yep. Alyssa's
Yeah, it's
gonna-
right again.
So again, the ring adds a lot of variation.
A lot of variation, you can scale it, you got a bigger
Watch
range of
mommy.
motion, you can
Watch
do a
mama.
variety of grips.
Yeah. Watch mommy.
Yeah, first of all, start completely,
watch mommy.
extended. Now begin with pronation, so palms down, extend your arms,
Yeah, mama.
extend your arms. Now pull to 90 degrees,
There's nothing like mama.
rotate completely to supination, finish the movement. Now return,
Look, she's right here.
and now turn. There you go. Now try to do it in a more fluid motion. Rotate,
Yeah, she's right here.
there you go.
She's right here.
One more time, rotate, elbows here, and that's it.
Nice.
So you can work on neutral grip, you can work on prone grip, you can work on supinated grip, or you can do a mixture.
It's all about mama.
It's fine. So fine.
So that was cool. I mean, we're all able to get a workout.
you can
super
do a
simple
lot.
device.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things. You can work
so
on
to make it
unilateral
harder,
work.
like for Fernando, what would your progression be?
For Fernando to
Like
make
if he
it
wanted
to make
to
it
make it harder.
harder, I would elevate his feet,
Okay.
or simply just moving the plate forward enough for him doing it correctly with the right scapula activation should be more than enough.
So you're getting more weight because of the leverage.
Exactly. You're getting more weight as the thing goes on.
Beautiful.
Another one for him to try would be like, it's called arc rows, where instead of pulling here, you pull down. So you're taking your retractors out of the equation, and you're literally just pulling with the lats. Exactly.
I'm just watching for safety. Can you hang?
I'm a big fan
Can you do it?
of the rotational work.
Okay.
Wow, Sapphire, good job.
Say quarterback. Done martial arts. I've trained lots of martial artists. There's a lot of this rotation.
Internal rotation.
Internal rotation.
What martial art do you do?
Martial art, Muay Thai myself.
Okay, I did
But
karate.
I was a quarterback in pictures for 15 years.
So the same side always.
So being able to move in a opposite
Yes.
rotation is very healthy for the
I got like 40 plus dislocation on my shoulders, a full labor and tear, and literally just doing rows, pull-ups, dips, and all the bodyweight exercises correctly with the proper scapula movements, literally healed my shoulder. Like
I
it
feel
never
like this
feels
is
the best.
beautiful, like as the kids grow up, to do ring progressions.
Yes,
Like,
and they're super friendly also on the elbow. Like
It'll be so good for their body to not wind up. Like I see a lot of young kids now, and it's already like this.
yes.
So like the rings,
Even calisthenics athletes, they go to weighted pull-ups and they start pulling like too rounded, and we do planches, everything. And they skip rows because rows are like too easy for
not
them,
as
and they
impressive.
just go to. It's not as impressive.
Yeah.
It's not the fancy stuff. So they go and try to do pull-ups, and their scapula is not moving properly. So everybody, most people skip rows, calisthenics athletes, and it's a foundational exercise that will actually make you, when you go to pull-ups, you can actually progress safely. And if you want to go to skills, even more.
That says a lot because he could have come in and just showed us like how to do a muscle up, but like instead he came in and he's showing us like what everyone can do as a foundation. I love that.
Exactly.
All right, let's see the overhead now.
So now let's go to the overhead. So
good job.
The two main exercises that we have in calisthenics, or like the cornerstone of a strength, would be pushing overhead and pulling overhead, so pull-ups. Now, to get to pull-ups, we cover rows. You want to go through that. You don't want to rush into pull-ups. For overhead, we have the pike push-ups. Now, can you demonstrate the pike push-ups? We have two issues with this exercise. Just do it, see, just do as many as you can. We have two issues with this exercise. First one is like doing a partial military press, because it's literally getting the bar to your head. It's very limited range of motion. That's number one. Actually, 3 problems. Number 2, it's very technically complex. Just do a wrong one. You can go forward and rock back. She can go forward, she can rock back into the heels. She can also go forward and push like a push-up, flare the elbows. It's very, very technical. It's very, very complex to learn. So that's the second downside. The third one is that it's extremely challenging even for strong people. So now your turn, come here. Even with the half range of motion, it's very, very complex if you do it right. So first, set up, lift your heels, and you're always gonna be here. We always wanna keep weight on the shoulders. Lift your hips slightly bit more. There you go. And shift forward the hips slightly more. So you see me, you're here right now. Try to open the shoulders. There you go. Now shift the shoulders forward slightly to the wrist. So you see, it's a lot of complexity that goes into the movement. Now I want you to go down here with the head, elbows in, go forward, more. So you see the forearm, we want them parallel to the floor. Wow. So look at me 1 second. You want it completely parallel. So you want to lean more. There you go. That's a really pike push-up. So look at him. He's super, super strong. He can probably overhead press a lot of weight, full range of motion. And look at how much he's struggling with pike push-up. So the question then becomes, why do we do it? Why don't we just do overhead pressing? So 2 things. One would be convenience. You can do it anywhere. So if you don't have dumbbells, it's an amazing way to do it. And the second one is if you just have bigger goals. So if you just, like overhead pressing, it doesn't matter how strong you are. If you want to get to, let's say, a bend on press, or on an actual press, or if you want to get to like handstand push-ups, the leaning forward, it's something that the military press doesn't give you, because we're working here. It's a lot of front delt and side delts. With the pike push-ups, if you see from the front, it's a very narrow grip, and the elbows literally are on top of the wrist. Wow. And that's what allowed the balance on the handstand push-ups. So why do we do it? 1, convenience, if you don't want to get the handstand push-ups. And number 2, if you are a young athlete and would like to get the handstand push-up, pike push-ups will be superior than overhead pressing.
And I can tell you just from doing that, there's a lot more activation
on the scapula, right? Yeah, it's the only closed chain exercise that we would do for overhead pressing, because all the things that we do is open chain, and there is something about closed chain, hasn't been studied yet, but it targets different muscle fibers and the scapula moves in a different way. So here we want to create full external rotation of the shoulders, and we also want some protraction to really activate like the serratus, because that's really going to help to push us through. We don't want to like collapse into internal rotation and elbows flare out and everything.
Can I try that one?
Huh?
Can I try this
Yeah,
one?
for sure. You want to be humbled?
I want. I'm sure I can't do it.
Well, I think
That's why I want you to teach
That's
me.
really nice.
I think what's really beautiful is you could do this with nothing.
In the floor, and it's already super hard.
Yeah.
And we're going to fix the range of motion thing in a bit.
Wait, let's do it together. Come, put your hands on the floor, Saf.
You got this, girl.
Okay, let's do it.
There you go.
Go a little bit wider. So the wider we go
Good
here,
job.
the easier it's going to be to keep the elbows in. If you go very
She's
narrow,
under
it's
you.
going to be very, very hard.
Okay.
So the initial position is walk your feet slightly forward towards you.
Okay.
Lift the heels as much as possible, like literally like an each over toes ATG squat.
Okay.
That's your starting position. Your shoulders are always over the wrist, so a little bit more forward. There we go. Now you're gonna get your head here.
Wow. I'm gonna.
In forward.
Where am I bending?
Keep your hips high. Keep your hips high. There you go, and then push up. And she probably how much can you overhead press on dumbbells?
light dumbbells, light
With
dumbbells,
dumbbells?
20-pound dumbbells,
25
just
dumbbells,
for general.
still a lot of weight. So this is half range of motion, and she's struggling.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Oh, what's up, baby?
Okay. She doesn't want me to do it. That's okay. That's okay. You want to
So-
do on my shoulders?
It's all about mama.
It's all about mama.
Yeah.
You did great, though.
Thank you. I'm going to keep working on it when I can.
So we can fix the range of motion thing.
So are you saying that ideally you would do it with the full range of motion? Or
Ideally,
Ideally,
I'm gonna show like easier variations now, and how I would approach it. Because as you can see, he's struggling, your wife is struggling. It's a really hard movement, but eventually, you wanna get the full range of motion. Because if not, it will be like all your life doing overhead presses up to here, and you are a fan of full range of motion. I'm a fan too. So here we elevate the hands, we elevate the feet at the same distance, and then we can go full range of motion here. So we get full stretch of the front delt, and then we push up.
why don't I try that one?
Now you try that
then-
one.
So you have the hands here, you're up on the toes,
Yes, that's perfect.
Just like this.
Try to round your spine a little bit, like close your chest.
like there.
Like imagine I'm punching you right here. There you go, that's it, keep that. Now look in between your hands, and go. Lean more forward, you see your elbow is behind your wrist. There you go, now push, keeping the elbow in front. Try not to touch my hand. Ever. I mean, not ever, just today.
I see.
There you go. So how was that for you?
Yeah, it's great. It's a challenge.
That's a beautiful form. That's it. Amazing.
I love that. It's so cool with no weights even.
Uh-huh.
And I think it'd be cool. We can put in the description like a sample workout. So how many sets, reps would you have me do?
So for a beginner?
Just a beginner, like
so
just like the other ones, like a beginner program.
Okay, so for a beginner, I wouldn't put this for a beginner because it is extremely, extremely hard. So my philosophy with this exercise is a combination of just doing a lot of push-ups,
Oh, okay.
getting very good with push-ups. If you can tolerate dips, dips is a whole different monster that I don't even want to talk about in this video.
Go to his page. I mean,
And learn
You
that.
wanna learn more
But
ATG,
it's an exercise
you
that
wanna
is
learn-
not for everybody.
Yeah.
Dips it's
I see.
many people suffer from sternum pain and whatnot. I do believe if you condition properly, you can get to do dips.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it is a mandatory exercise. Push-ups, overhead pressing, 100% yes. So we do. You want to do this one?
Yeah, yeah.
So we do a combination of push-ups to build a base of pushing strength, but we also want to be specific and get the same full range of motion. Now, how I will switch it is elbows slightly more in front, so more like a neutral grip, and elbows in as you push up. There you go. So it gets extremely harder in comparison to the other things, so you might have to even lower the
try
weight. Yeah. So you might have to even lower
That's
the weight.
preparing more for that.
And you could add rotation.
And you could add rotation. You could even do it naturally just to grow your front delt.
Nice.
Combined with push-ups, yeah, there you go.
We're a big fan of pressing overhead,
And
and
it's
we
amazing.
actually like all angle. Like we like any. We don't have a view like only do.
Exactly. So for example, if you wanted to get to the pike push-ups, I wouldn't just tell you go narrow and that's it. I would just make you do regular, like this plane, in this plane, in this plane, whatever. Combined with push-ups, that's going to give you the strength to eventually do the progressions for this exercise.
And for you, would you then elevate your feet like on the?
I would elevate my feet and my hands.
Do you want me to put like?
So if you can put,
well,
one
here,
of those.
Fernando, we'll put this.
And I was going to ask you if.
So
you
what? We
go
put
on
this
your
on the back.
knees-
I'll put it right here.
Yeah.
I was also going to ask if there's a regression like going to your knees or.
We're gonna talk about regressions. So more like about here. So for this one, you set up in a 90-degree angle. And again, you can go up to the floor as a progression, but ideally you build it up all the way down
Go to
and then go up. So my shoulders are always on top of my wrist. Lean forward, down, push while keep leaning, and then I go back.
Wow, that's awesome.
I want to see you do that.
So let's see. You have the hands here.
Yeah. So if your hamstring flexibility sucks and it's not that great, then you can bend your knees aside, but your hamstring flexibility is good. Now you lean forward, there you go. Try not to touch my hand. There you go. Nice. Shut up. I can get you to a handstand push-up in like 3 months. Well, we need to get the handstand first. Let's get it. Yeah, you want to keep the big gaze right here. Come all the way down. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Push up. If your feet lift, that's actually a good sign. That means that you're putting enough weight into the shoulders. That's really good. Because what most people do, they lean back just to feel safe. You did an amazing job. If your feet lift, that means that you're actually putting weight into the shoulders. Now regressions, do you have like a yoga block or something? Or like small elevation?
Look, calisthenics, it's natural. Look,
Oh, there you go.
we're not trying to make her. I promise you, she's the one making us.
She's the one doing it.
I promise you.
It's the calisthenics vibe
She's
right here.
making us try to do it. Kids naturally gravitate to calisthenics. My wife and I, that's something that is really meaningful to us. Like as they grow from now till they're 10, 14, we want like a simple system, like for kids.
Yes,
Simple system, handful of exercises, ATG and calisthenics. So
I mean,
I think you'll be able to easily help us do that.
ATG is like 30% calisthenics, I would say. Like Nordics, ATG squats.
but for kids, I'm not going to give them dumbbell. Like
Exactly.
this, like she's already trying to hang. My 3-year-old can already one arm hang,
Really?
and we don't even make him. He just goes up and he's like,
What do you do for grip on the ATG system?
we're a fan of any grip.
Any grip board.
I play basketball. I just do the exercises. I mean,
Okay.
if you've noticed, our dumbbells have a thick grip on every dumbbell.
Oh,
Did
yes.
you notice that?
Yes.
With the dumbbell? So we're a fan of grip training.
Of grip training in general.
It kind of depends on the sport. So
Got
the
it.
more is involved, we make bars for pronation, supination,
Yeah, I got it with the
crushing grip. We tell people sand or
Okay.
rice bucket.
Love it. Love it.
But I feel like if you do calisthenics right, you get a lot of grip naturally, like with the rings.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
So look at that. Good job.
Okay, yes.
But this is my belief: is that a system can be made that's like, that's almost like you don't have to,
Not today.
almost like you don't have to coach them, but you just like. I feel like a step-by-step system could be made of calisthenics for kids, with maybe some of the ATG with the a little more lower body
Makes
in
sense.
addition.
All right, so
So-
regressions for the Pike push-ups. I think we can use this actually a plate would be better. Yeah. So
Yeah, so I'm really glad we made this connection because you're going to be able to help me make sure that the kids system is, really
I'll help
clean.
you out. I'll help you
Really,
out.
without me
I'll help
like
you out.
guessing, really clean.
for sure, we'll get there. Okay, so actually 2 plates is a good regression so you can get more range of motion, but because your hands are higher than your feet, it's easier.
That makes sense.
So that's could be a middle ground. Now for people that are beginning,
Interesting.
again, a combination of push-ups and a combination of overhead pressing. So they build a base and they can actually, because if they don't build a base, if they only have like 5 push-ups, they will literally just collapse down, won't be able to do it. Here, we're gonna reduce even more the range of motion, and it's still hard, but we simply put plate and we cut the range of motion even more. That will be progression number 1, and if you pair that with negatives, like eccentrics, very slow and control, then you go back up. Combine that with this after you build the base of general strength, then you're gonna be able to get your first Pike push-up. And then how we progress on this movement, it's mainly range of motion based. So we go from here to the boxes, to the elevated, and eventually we move on to handstand push-ups on the wall. It's a very long journey. Like you've probably seen it that people struggle a lot with overhead pressing. But for me, it's just like you, it's like the cornerstone of pushing strength.
It's beautiful. Any last words before we wrap up the video?
So the last thing that I would say is there is something that we do in calisthenics. We pay a lot of attention on the scapula, on the shoulder girdle. And you can do that with all the exercises
see it.
if you pay attention. So
Yeah.
with the rows, we want full depression and we want retraction. We don't allow the shoulders to elevate. Not because it's inherently dangerous, you could be fine, but we want to create a lot of stability because most calisthenics people want to get to more advanced skills. But even if you don't, just loading the patterns and moving the scapulas correctly and progressively overload either with more weight, more range of motion, or all the progresses that we have, it's really going to strengthen your entire shoulder blades. And I think that can add a lot to the ATG system if you teach them how to move the shoulder blade. So now, I had to learn this myself. This is something that I don't think everybody needs to learn, but it's learning to isolate the scapula. So what I'm about to do here is I move it here and then I move it down. What's happening here is the scapula is going into anterior tilt and a slight elevation. And when I put it down, I'm activating my serratus, and it's doing a posterior tilt, a slight depression and abduction or protraction of the shoulder blades. And it's not that this position is bad and this position is good, but for most movements, if we press here, and you can clearly see that this just looks better or more efficient than if I were to like here, I feel the strength of my serratus assisting me in pushing movements as well as in pulling movements.
Ask any big bencher, pro, elite,
Yes.
powerlifters.
They all big time doing that.
About what he's saying here,
Exactly.
the cupping and the retraction.
Exactly. So if you see, for example, a push-up, so on the bench, your scapulas are fixed. So if you see a push-up, I'm improving it, winging scapula. Before, I used to have my scapula like that. And I feel weak and my shoulder doesn't like it. I learned to go from here to here. Is that clear on camera? So from here to here. So now my scapula move.
Wow.
So now my scapula move how it's supposed to be moving. Now, doing this took me, I've been practicing for 1.5 years, 2 years. Again, my case is very severe. Some people might not have to do it, but I believe it's just like, we don't need to learn how to posteriorly or anteriorly tilt the pelvis to have a good practice. But if you know how to do it, it might help you better, because now when you're doing RDL, it's like, okay, maybe more anterior would be better, maybe more posterior would be better. Here the same, more posterior tilt of the scapula, this might benefit a lot of movements. So how do we teach it? The first progression would be over here, let's go here. So we get some traction of the joints, some distraction, get the joint out. This allows it so it's easier. So how we do it is we go into a bad posture position, so shoulder goes forward, and then we roll it back, the shoulder, and we try to push here with the serratus forward. So if you see from the back, you go here, and then we try to scoop it down. That's why it's called a scoop.
And do you finish by engaging the lat and serratus?
Yeah, so what does the scooping, it's the serratus, but it's also the lats. So we do here, and the serratus, the lats, and the chest as well. Now, you can just scoop without the lats. That's I can have my shoulders retracted, my lat is very soft, it doesn't have a lot of leverage here, and I can scoop here.
Yeah.
But then if I want to finish the scoop, I go into this motion. Now, we don't want to be walking like bodybuilders, so it's not about always being scoop or always being in that position. It's a matter of learning how to use it and when. First progression, you want to give it a shot? Yes. So roll the shoulder forward, and then roll the shoulder back, and feel yes, there we go. You feel the serratus right here? There you go. And go forward again.
Fernando was a quarterback.
Yeah, he told me
So
that.
shoulders were actually a big problem. Whereas for me, in basketball,
never had it.
just by generally doing rows overhead, my shoulders feel fucking incredible.
That did 90%
but
of my fixing.
It's similar with the knee as well. There's a lot more details, but if you look at the workout I showed you, I didn't show you 10 exercises that you have to do.
Exactly.
But for someone else,
They
the
might have to do
details
that. They might have
could
to
be
do that.
huge. So I think
Yes.
it's better to keep it real with him.
So for most people, they would have to learn the scoop. My wife doesn't have to learn the scoop. She's just doing the basics in a proper way with the scapula, and you just get stronger there. Now for me, 40 plus dislocation, super unstable. I couldn't do the movements that I do now.
Wow.
One-arm handstand was completely unattainable for me.
Wow.
I had to learn that. So I had to do some serratus wall slides. I had to learn how to scoop, whatnot. Just
And
a
you were
second.
showing something with a band as well, which I think could be good
Yes.
for people.
Well, I want to say to throwers and to people who need to go regression, if you don't have a problem, start at the good proper form rows, probably gets
Exactly,
the job done.
that's it.
I can tell you from doing this, I have used this not knowing exactly what I was doing to the
Okay.
degree I do now.
Okay, I feel you.
But when I was younger and I was repairing I used to do something like this, and it helps my shoulder. So if you have an injury, I had bad injuries too.
Yes. It's a tool.
It's a tool. It's
It
a
is a tool.
regression tool to learn how to control the rotators and all these muscles.
Yes.
If you don't even know how to place your shoulder, how are you going to be able to do a row? So it's
Yes.
just an earlier breaking.
Yeah, there are different school of thought. Some people say your shoulder blades are on your back, so you don't see them. That's why they're on your back, so you shouldn't be concerned about them. And they also say that there's not a single study that shows that winging scapula causes problem. Okay, that's fine, but for some people do. And if you want to get a movement like the planche, where the position of the scapula is right here, it would look horrible if I do a planche like right here. And not only horrible, but it's a very demanding skill for the tendons and ligaments. If my scapula cannot hold my body weight and it's not stable, it's going to put it all in the passive structures, and I'm going to get fucked.
Can I see the band exercise? Because we allow people, like, not everyone has the same equipment access. So we allow people to do a band pull apart, but I thought maybe you could improve that. I saw you doing a band drill.
Yes, so before the band, so that is the easiest progression. Then ideally you would practice it without that. Ideally with a mirror, because you have no idea what the fuck is going on in your back. You want to see it, ideally. It helps a lot with proprioception. So here you reach out and do the same. Go forward and then go back. That's the first step. Once you learn how to do this, moving the arm with the shoulder blade, then you're gonna learn to do it without moving the hand at all. So you would just move the shoulder or moving the hand as little as possible. So we go from here to here. Give it a shot. So it's pretty much learning how to isolate the shoulder blades. Yeah, first rotation, you're feeling it here perfectly. I can feel your serratus, that's beautiful. There you go. Okay, now try to do it just moving from here. Try to connect your brain to here. Yes. Okay, now rotate. Better, yes. There we go. Yeah, so without moving your hand, try to rotate this now. There you go. So he had a lot of, you have like really good mind-muscle connection. For most people, they will have to spend 3, 4, 5 months here, then 3, 4, 5 months here. Now the final tool, this is the banded one. This one, even though it might look harder, it actually, for me, was easier, and that's, it's one of the ones that really helped me the most, because there is something about the getting some resistance that allows you to feel the shoulder blades better. So I'm doing the same now, but with both. I can do both, or I can isolate one at a time. And again, it's not that this position is good and this position is good, or no, it's just that you want to be able to know where your shoulder blades are. And for most pressing and pulling exercises, having it scoop will have a better shoulder mechanics with the scapula movement. You want to give this one a shot?
Yeah. Now are you
so you just grab some tension enough. Yeah, there you go. And now try to roll the shoulders up and forward. There you go. Now try to feel your serratus and feel your scapula doing this behind your back. There you go. Do it again. Yes, so now you're going from anterior tilt of the scapula to a posterior tilt, and you should feel it right here in your serratus. One more time.
It makes sense.
There you go. An easier variation would be just raise the band on top, so like this.
Up here?
Yeah, like then, and then do like a pull apart like there.
Oh. Yeah.
And it's a bit easier, but not too much. Just keep your arms like there, like higher, up to there. That's it. Now try to do the same. So now hold it there.
Oh.
And do the same. Yes. When your arms are higher, it's just easier to activate the serratus. To make it harder now, bring the band lower. Now try to do it there. That becomes increasingly harder, but for calisthenics, that's the position that we are in a planche. So it's learning how to scoop in that position.
Amazing.
Which is extremely freaking hard.
It's amazing.
So to keep it super, super simple, not everybody needs this, but it can be a very valuable tool. It's just like learning to flex or extend your spine, learning to move your scapula. Not necessary, but if you have shoulder problems, winging scapula, it has been the only thing that has helped me with the winging scapula. Combine that, you apply that scooping now to the rows, to the pull-ups, to the dips, to every upper body movement that you do, and then your shoulders become bulletproof.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for visiting.
Thank you for
Thanks
having
to
me.
your family for coming. And
Thank you, brother.
you're an amazing woman. And thanks to my amazing woman for helping with the kids so we can get this done. It's really priceless. So thanks to everyone for watching.
Thank you.
And supporting and bearing with us. Maybe it could go faster if I sent my kids off with a nanny or daycare. So honestly, I appreciate you, bearing with us, watching, even with this family style that we've got. Thanks, Fernando, joining us.
Thank you for having me, brother.
First of many.
It's a pleasure. First of many. Much love, family.